Hi, Shalom, everyone. I'm going to continue the series of the famous Oriental Rabbanim of yesteryear. We've already covered about 260 great Rabbanim, and here on Chaf Zayin Sivan, that's the 27th of Sivan, is Yahrzeit Hilula of a really great rabbi, actually born in Tunisia and was a very head prominent rabbi in Libya later on. His name was Rabbi Shushan Buchrich Z'tl from part of the great Rabbanim. They was born actually in the year 1870 and passed away on 27th of Sivan in 1967, the year of the Six-Day War. Okay, so let's relate very much about the great Chacham himself. As he was actually born, I believe, in the island of Jerba. I believe this was in Tunisia. We've spoken about many of the great Tunisian Rabbanim throughout. It's actually interesting. At one stage in time, in his youth, respectively, he actually went and he studied in a yeshiva in Tripoli, in Libya. It was very close to each other and was actually ordained as a rabbi, also as a prominent כשוחט over there, and a mohel also, with many, many different great accolades. He actually married the daughter of the head of the Jewish community in Tripoli. I think her name was Rabbanit Farjala Shelag. And I think they lived in a town near Tripoli when he got married. He's actually engaged in trade. He was working in trade and became very prosperous, very, very wealthy from the great workings he did. Hashem really, really gave him a lot of bracha. It's actually interesting. He was not just working, he was learning and working in community life the whole time. He would actually get up, reported over at 3 o'clock every morning and prayed and learned the Zohar. And at this point in time, anyone that needed she'elot, anyone who needed help, he would open his house to everybody who needed questions with regards to halacha. And it's actually interesting. There was a lot of problems, and there was a lot of anti-Semitism reportedly over many people, the non-Jewish people, inhabitants over there. They caused a lot of agitation to him. Some of the Arabs reported over had suspected that he was a spy for the Italians, and they tried to rob all of his possessions, I think one time in the middle of the night, and his life was in seriously danger. And it's actually interesting, they actually took a ransom on him of 700 Turkish gold liras at that time. Remember, Italy would control Libya at a later stage to actually accuse him on these trumped up charges, if I am not mistaken. But I think he received a huge salvation at that point in time. I think they wanted to put the most severest trumped up penalties upon him. But miracles had actually occurred, and he was able to be freed at a later stage in time. He was actually found salvation, and it's actually interesting. I think this miracle itself, where he actually escaped all these trials and tribulations, which could have been costly, could have cost him his life over here, was on a Rosh Chodesh, if I'm not mistaken, also. And it was at the time period where the Italians actually did capture the city, and he was released from prison at the time of the Italians capturing Tripoli, and because they actually put him in prison on these charges, and then he moved to live in Tripoli. And once he moved to Tripoli in Libya, after all this problem that came, he became the rabbi of the community over there and served over there as a shochet. He was a chazan also. He was a part of the bet din over there, a judge. And he was a mohel also. He would perform brit milahs also. And it's actually interesting. Many of the people, the throngs of the community, would actually go to his Beit Knesset. He was a rabbi of the great synagogue of Tripoli and listen to his great sermons. And I think following around the time period of the Six-Day War, I think he actually took this position, if I'm not mistaken, as a head rabbi of Tripoli in the year 1949. And I think at that stage in time, he would have been in his late 70s, if I'm not mistaken. But he was obviously a prominent rabbi beforehand. Also, who had a lot of great positions. But I think specifically in the year 1949, he actually moved. He was actually working in an area called Zavaya, or Zaya, if we pronounce it other ways. That's where I think that all the trumped up charges came upon him at that point in time. He was working also as a rabbi over there inside that specific community, very, very head rabbi also. And it's interesting, I think he was, while he had all these jobs opened, our house open the whole time. He was head of the treasury, distributed a lot of money to charity and made sure that there was a great prominent Torah life, especially in Tripoli, which had a great Torah community at the time and a rich Jewish heritage and great life, and much. Maybe we'll dedicate a separate video within regards to history of the great Libyan Jews and the rabbis of Tripoli, also respectively. But he became ill, I think, when he was in his towards late 90s, and in the year 1967. Obviously, there was huge amounts of anti-Semitism in Libya after the Six-Day War, so there was a lot of problems for the Jewish community as a whole. But still, even when he was close to 100 years old, he was able to run minyanim, do the minyanim over there, also praying frivorously, and was still a head rabbi of the area, respectively, also. And he passed away in 1967 on Chaf Zayin Sivan. It was the 27th of Sivan over there. And it's actually interesting. I think despite all the anti-Semitism, he had a proper funeral, obviously with the special permission of the authorities over there. And I think it was that they put the Jewish people towards some specific region at that point in time. The Jewish people in Libya and towards Tripoli were based in a specific camp over there at that point in time. This was during the time when there was obviously, because after the Six-Day War, there was all the problems over there. And I think the name of this was based in Tripoli itself, respectively. I think the name of this area was called the Gorgi Camp, which was actually based near Tripoli. And his funeral was very, very well attended. A lot of miracles itself occurred during the week of his Shiva, also, respectively. Left great descendants, also. Most notably, one of the great descendants was his son, Rabbi Shushan Buchrich, also, who was also another very, very great and very prominent rabbi, also. Rabbi Shushan Buchrich, also a very, very great rabbi. I think he had a position in New York himself at a later stage, also. And it's his yahrzeit here on Chaf Zayin Sivan, the 27th of Sivan, which naturally is at the time of recording tonight. And please don't forget to light candles in his memory of the great Rabbi Shushan Buchrich Z'tl. Please, I've covered about already 270 videos on the great Rabbanim itself inside the series. We want to do much more. Thanks for all the fantastic feedback, and wishing just to hear good things, and take care. Wishing you a great day.